Welcome to the Field of 68 college basketball road trip. We're putting a bow on this, Goodman. We were able to hang out and sit in and watch practice today with Coach DeVries, and I was, for one, really impressed with what we talked about with him, how quick and how efficient and how on time everything was. But to me, if I'm an Indiana fan, I am really, really excited about what the potential of this team can be offensively, right? The last couple of years, there's been a lot of big bodies, a lot of people placed in the paint, not as many shooters as you probably would want at a program like Indiana, and shooting is not going to be an issue. Space is not going to be an issue. Pace is not going to be an issue. This is going to be a team that can score 85 or 90 points a game. This season.
That's the difference. They may not be as talented as some of the last few years. I mean, let's face it, Indiana had talent. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a talent issue for Mike Woodson. It was, to me, a style issue and a getting the guys to play hard and play with pride issue. And I don't think you're going to have a problem with either of those. Like, the biggest question is, right, how do these mid-major guys translate? Right? I mean, Lamar Wilkerson, I think it's going to translate. We know he's got the size, and he could shoot the hell out of the basketball. Tucker DeVries has to stay healthy. That's obviously a key. Tatum Conaway, can he be an elite defender and a guy who just runs the team and makes the right decisions? Now, Connor Emright is going to give him some help in a secondary ball handler. They've got some depth, too. But I just think this team is going to be fun to watch, because they're going to have some of that pride, that chip on their shoulder like they were talking about.
Well, that's the thing that's really interesting about the roster that was built and this team, because I don't believe there is a top 50 prospect on this roster. I don't think there is a top 50 recruit on this roster. And
I can't imagine
if you go back and look through past Indiana teams, I don't know when the last time that would have been.
Yeah,
right.
It's been a while.
Probably before Romeo Langford. It would have to be.
Yeah, Archie Miller's early, his first year probably.
So and even then, like Tom Crean's last year, Yogi Ferrell's on the roster.
Yeah.
You have players like that. So it's.
But it's also a different time. You're going with experience.
Well, but the other part of it is you're not. There's not going to be any entitlement with anybody on this roster. Like the two biggest names that you have are kids that spent 2 and 3 years in the JUCO ranks.
Like getting nothing.
There's
taking long bus trips.
Lamar Wilkerson,
eating McDonald's,
as we talked about, was out of basketball and was working at a factory building lawnmowers.
Right.
There's not the level of entitlement that you see at other programs at other places.
You
that they
saw
have to battle
last year here, not other places.
I wasn't trying to throw everybody under the bus.
But it's true. But it's true. That was the hardest
diplomatic.
part. I watch this team more than I should, and it's been hard to watch them because, again, you just felt like you never had that pride for Indiana basketball. Some of them did, but a good portion of the players, I felt like, again, weren't completely invested in getting Indiana basketball back, or winning being the most important thing. I feel like watching these guys, like, winning is paramount for them.
Yeah, I think a lot of that does matter. What was the biggest surprise that you had in kind of watching this practice and watching these workouts?
I think it was, again, Reed Bailey being because I still think of Reed Bailey as like 6'8.5".
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, man, like, he's not going to offer any rim protection. He averaged a block, but it's in the A-10. It's going to be different in the Big Ten. But man, he's grown. He's long. He can run.
He's athletic. He can jump too.
Again, is he going to be? He may not be. Some of these other guys in the Big Ten that protect the rim at the highest level. But I think he'll give you enough, and I think the key is going to be, right, will Lamar Wilkerson guard at a high level? Conaway, we know, can. We know Emright's going to guard. So I think they're going to have to do it by committee as much as anything else, and can they be an above-average defensive team? That's what they're going to have to be. In order to be a team that is a top 5 or 6 team in the Big Ten, they're going to have to be a top 50, 75 defensive team.
Well, so here's the comparison that I would make, right? if you look at the school that we're going to tomorrow, Purdue,
Yeah.
you look at what Purdue was last year. They were one of the best offensives in America, right? I think they were 7th on KenPom. And they ended up as a borderline 4 seed. They got a 4 seed. That was something that was a little controversial when they got bumped up to that 4 seed line. And they were a top 50 defense because they didn't have rim protection and because they were outside of the top half of offensive rebounding percentage and defensive rebounding percentage. And if Indiana, that's kind of what I think this team might end up being.
I mean,
right?
if they're a 4 or 5 seed, which, again,
that might be a little bit high.
Hell of a year.
But
to me, if
more of what you can expect to see, you're going to see an elite offense.
If I said to you, this Indiana team finishes 7th in the Big Ten and goes to the tournament and wins a tournament game, are you signing up for that immediately?
I think that
even with the money they spent.
The bar to clear this year to me, if you're Darren DeVries, is get into the tournament.
In any way possible.
Get into the tournament.
Get in and don't back in.
That should be the bar to clear.
But don't back in.
That should be the bar to clear.
Get in.
Right? Now,
don't be talking about first 4.
But I think getting into the tournament is the bar to clear in your first year. Now, I think that it's more likely to be somewhere in the neighborhood of Louisville in their first season under Pat Kelsey when they had to rebuild the roster, where there's going to be some highs, there's going to be some lows, you're going to be an 8 seed, and if you're going to win a game, then you're going to run into a juggernaut in the second round. I think that's probably the most likely option for what you're looking at with this team. But
to me, just be an 8-9, get in, don't sweat it out.
Who's the X factor for this group?
I think it's Conaway. Because he's got to be an elite defender and a guy who kind of pushes it and gets everybody but I think he's got to be a point of attack elite defender. I do. And I think he's got the personality. We've been around him now. Mm-hmm. He's got that dog in him. So I think he's the key. Because you've got enough guys. If Lamar has an off night shooting, you got enough other guys. Reed Bailey, you could say, and I'm thinking maybe Bailey could be an X factor too.
I don't think
but
it's
he's
Bailey.
going to be good. He's like, I know what you're going to get out of Reed Bailey. Conaway, just haven't seen at this level. It's a jump, and we don't know. Sometimes when you go from Troy to Indiana or any of those low-ish major schools, you cut the numbers in half. If you cut the numbers in half with him, I don't know if this team's going to be good enough to get to the tournament.
I think it's Sam Alexis to me.
Okay.
This is a guy that when he committed to Florida was a transfer that a lot of people were excited about. Yep. He was high up on a lot of those rankings. He was a double-double machine when he was at Chattanooga. Now he's about 6'8", 240. He's not quite the biggest guy that you're going to find in the Big Ten.
He's big for Indiana.
He's someone that can end possessions by getting defensive rebounds, that can protect the rim, not just by blocking shots, but by being 6'8" and 240 and being in the way. And I think that he provides.
Think if Conaway's an all-league-ish guard, Indiana's a lock tournament team.
Oh, yeah.
A lock tournament team.
Yeah.
If he's not, they're an NIT team. How's that?
I think you're going too far. If Tate and Conaway is not an all Big Ten player, then
honorable mention. He's got to be at least an honorable mention guy, is what I'm saying. If he's like a second team all Big Ten guy, they're a lock tournament team. If he's not even an honorable mention guy, then I think, yes, they're probably looking at NIT. I think he's that important for them. Yes.
Yeah. I agree with his importance. I think they have more talent than that. I think they'll be able to ride.
But how many guys do they have? How many guys do they have? Number one, that'll guard like him. Number two, that can get in the paint and make things happen. How many guys do they have? That's where he's so paramount.
Yeah. Some of them, and to be transparent, some of them we did not see today.
Yeah.
Josiah Miles and Jason Drake were not available because of injuries. We talked to DeVries about that. And Nick Dorn is still coming back. He did not play in the pickup session. He did the 5-on-0 stuff. So it might just be health.
Luckily their top guys are healthy. If there's anything, their top guys, Tucker's
the medical
healthy.
Staff earned their salaries this summer with Indiana. We're heading to Purdue tomorrow.
We are. We got 4 places, Indiana, Purdue tomorrow. Then we go to Louisville Monday, Kentucky Tuesday. When I brought this trip up to you, a month or so ago, I don't think you were all in.
I don't want to leave home. I like being at home.
Your wife wanted you to leave home.
When the media days that we have coming up, I was like, wait, so you're adding 2 more trips?
I know, I got you. But this is fun.
But it was worth it, man.
This is great.
It's awesome to come here.
For me to come to Indiana now, and come in this building and come in the offices and with a big smile on my face.
You know what's funny is that Indiana's the old staff probably isn't even the staff that hates you the most these days. So
I don't know who that would be.
I think that there's probably 10% of the campuses you're not allowed on now.
No,
maybe 12.
That's a high number. That's a very high number.
It might be 15 by the end of the season.
I'd say 0.5% of the campuses.